Hello friends, this is Dr. Hina Dalal, Assistant Professor in Economics from Vanita Mishra Women's College of Commerce, Surat. Today we are going to study the topic of Niti Aayog. Now this topic is a part of Unit 1 of TY-BCom. That is, the name of the paper is Indian Economy Recent Trends. Yes, so today we are going to study Niti Aayog. You all can see? Yeah? Fine. Now first of all, what is Niti Aayog? It's the full form of Niti Aayog is National Institution of Transforming India. Yeah? Niti is policy, Aayog commission, which is in Hindi, right? So this Niti Aayog has been replaced in place of Planning Commission. Yes? Niti Aayog is a think tank of the Government of India and it was established on 1st January 2015. Now, main objective of Niti Aayog is, to design the strategic and long-term policies which will help in making India a very strong nation. And while framing this Niti Aayog, a special attention is to be paid to the marginalized sections of the society who are at risk and were not benefited from any economic progress of the nation. Moreover, this has also been done to serve the needs and aspirations of the people of India. Apart from all this, Niti Aayog will also monitor and evaluate the implementation of all the plans and policies. An important evaluatory change from the past. So Niti Aayog will act as an ideal platform of the Government of India, which will bring the states together as one in the interest of the nation. And this will foster the cooperative federalism, because a strong state will make a strong nation. So Niti Aayog foresees the creation of the regional councils, which comprises of the central ministers, the state ministers, who will work together and will address the specific issues as well as the contingencies if arise in any states. The national, the international experts, the practitioners, the experts will be the part of Niti Aayog. Now this Niti Aayog was taken to change the economic landscape of India and be an active participation in the globalized world. The e-book, which was circulated in the February 2015, has stated that the Planning Commission had served India for more than 60 plus past years, that is almost 65 years, in which over the period of time, the India's demography has changed, the entire country has changed, the states have changed, the private sector has changed, the level of technology has also changed. Now, the main object of Niti Aayog is what? It will facilitate a transition from the isolated conceptualism of merely planning to planning for implementation, which shows that all the plans, policies which will be formulated will definitely be implemented. The website of Niti Aayog was launched on 18th of May 2015. What were the features of Niti Aayog? So it is itself developing as a state-of-the-art resource center. Now, state-of-art resource center means it includes the necessary resources which are required, knowledge, skills. This all will enable to act with the speed, as well as it will help in promoting the research, innovations, and will provide a strategic policy vision for the government and deal with the contingent issues arose. Now we will see that the Niti Aayog's entire range of activities are divided under 4 main heads. As I told you all in the beginning, that it is a think tank and a knowledge and an innovation hub. So a committee where the experts, the international experts are interested in to Niti Aayog. Then it will try to foster the cooperative federalism. It will design the policies, programs, framework, and it will keep a continuous monitor and evaluation of these policies and programs which are designed. What are the objectives of Niti Aayog? First of all, it will evolve a shared vision of the national development priority sectors and the strategies with the active involvement of the states. And this vision of Niti Aayog will provide a framework of the national agenda for the Prime Minister and the Chief Ministers. And it will try to foster the cooperative federalism. Now, how is this possible? It is possible through the structured support initiatives and mechanisms with the states, and this will be done on a continuous basis. The next objective is to develop a mechanism to formulate the credible plans at the village level and to aggregate these at the higher levels of the government. The next objective is to ensure that the interests of the nation's security are incorporated in the economic strategies and the policies. Then, to pay the special attention to those sections of the society who have not been benefited adequately from the economic progress of the nation. Then, to design the strategic and long-term policies and program frameworks. Then initiatives should be undertaken, and of course there will be a monitoring of these progresses. The lessons which will be learned through monitoring and through the feedback that will be used for making the innovative improvements. The next objective is to provide advice and encourage the partnerships between the key stakeholders and the national and international like-minded committees, as well as educational and policy research institutions. Then the next objective is to create a knowledge, innovation and an entrepreneurial support system. Then also it will provide a platform for the resolution of intersectoral and the interdepartmental issues. Then the next objective is to maintain the state-of-art resource center. That is, it will be a good storehouse of research and also best practices in the sustainable and equitable development, as well as to help it to distribute it amongst the stakeholders. Then to actively monitor and evaluate the implementation of the programs and the initiatives. Also, it will focus on the technological upgradation and the capacity building so that the programs and the initiatives which are taken are properly implemented. Then, to undertake other activities which are necessary in order to further execute the entire agenda and the objectives that are mentioned above. Now we will see the composition of Niti Aayog. Now, Niti Aayog comprises of the following, that is, the Prime Minister as the chairperson, that is Shri Narendra Modi, then a governing council which will comprise of the chief ministers of the states and the union territories. The regional council will also include the chief ministers of the state and lieutenant governors of the union territories. Then the full-time organizational framework will comprise of a vice chairperson, the 4 full-time members, 2 part-time members, 4 ex-officio members of the Union Council of Ministers, a chief executive officer. This chief executive officer will look after the administration and a secretariat. Experts and specialists will also be invited in the various fields. Just as Planning Commission is chaired by the Prime Minister, Niti Aayog is also going to be chaired by the Prime Minister. And for all the practical purposes, a Vice Chairman, a Chief Executive Officer, as I told you all in the previous slide, will run the affairs of the institution. Professor Arvind Pannagaria was the first Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog. The new composition of Niti Aayog was announced by our Prime Minister and he had approved it on the 7th June 2018. That we will see in the next slide. The composition of Niti Aayog. As I told you all, that chairperson is our Minister Shri Narendra Modi, the Vice Chairperson Dr. Rajiv Kumar, the Chief Executive Officer Mr. Amitabh Kant. Then we have the full-time members, the ex-officio members and the special invitees. So full-time members, Shri V.K. Saraswat, Professor Ramesh Chand and Dr. V.K. Paul. Then you have the ex-officio members who are the ministers from different sectors, that is Defence, Home Affairs, Minister of Corporate Affairs, Welfare Minister, Minister of Rural Development, Minister of the Panchayat Raj. Yes, it has been mentioned along with the names. Then we also have the special invitees, that is Shri Nitin Jairam Gadkari, Shri Thawar Chand Gehlot, Shri Piyush Goyal, Shri Rao Indrajit Singh. These are also the ministers of different affairs. Niti Aayog has been initiated for an open, constant, continuous, ongoing involvement, participation of each and every state. So now, the state governments will also be able to play an active role in achieving the nation's objectives. So, under a planning commission, the center would dictate the states or influence the states. But under Niti Aayog, the states will be able to play a more important role. It will be an active participation of the states. They will be playing a direct role in formulating the plans. So now there would be no communication gap. In fact, the plans will be implemented more effectively. This is the Niti Aayog's pillars. So Niti Aayog is based on 7 pillars of effective governance. First is empowering women. So empowering women in all the aspects of the society. Then there should be a complete involvement of the citizens. Then to anticipate and respond to the needs of the citizens. So here the citizens' needs would be focused upon. Then to fulfill the aspirations of each and every individual in the society as a whole. All the youngsters would get an equal opportunity to progress for amongst themselves. Then there would also be an inclusion of all the types of people, and special emphasis would be laid on the economically weak people, that is SC, ST, OBC groups and many more. Then there will be a transparent implementation through the use of modern technology so that the government is visible to the public and equally responsive. So this is all the information which is given about the Niti Aayog. So thank you, friends.